We're here today with Dr. Warren Farrell. Dr. Farrell has recently put together a DVD series called The Best Interest of the Child, and that actually explores the research that's out there that supports the idea that children need two parents in their lives, regardless of the parent's present marital status. And we just want to talk a little bit about that today, Warren. So thank you for being with us. But before we do that, I want to say this is Warren Farrell, who has written numerous books on the relationships between men and women. Your Father and Child Reunion was really groundbreaking in the sense of saying this is why fathers and children need each other in their lives, and we appreciate your exploring that. You know, Warren, we actually had a great time last night chatting and talking and did a wonderful presentation. Could you just recap for us what it is that is so important about children maintaining a relationship with both parents and the environment that needs to be there in order for that to be successful?
Yes, I basically have taken research. I did a meta-analysis of research from all around the world and found that there were amazing, no matter what the methodologies were, whether there was male or female or biases, that when a good study was done, that there were very many common denominators. And one was that, yes, it's true that the intact family is best for children. That was affirmed. Secondly, though, that if there can't be an intact family, I wanted to find out what then was best for children. And what turns out to be best for children, if there can't be an intact family, is whatever comes closest to simulating the intact family. And what comes closest to simulating the intact family is a 50-50 parent situation, not just shared parenting 80-20, 70-30, but for reasons that I'll explain, it has to be very close to equal amounts of time for both the man and the woman. Whenever the child has less than that, there are certain dynamics that occur that undermine the potential for the child having really positive well-being. There also needs to be no bad-mouthing that the child can overhear, and that basically means the rule of thumb has to be you can never speak negatively about your spouse when a child is in the house, because even tones of voice are picked up by the child that end up having a negative impact on the child's belief that maybe if something is wrong with daddy, therefore, since I'm growing up to be like daddy, maybe something's wrong with me. Maybe if mom is a drunkard or a liar or irresponsible, that maybe as I grow up and see half of my body language become my mom's body language, that maybe therefore I'm inherently that way. And so children need to really be free from the bad mouthing. And the third thing that has to happen if you want the ideal situation after divorce is that parents cannot live more than about 15 or 20 miles from each other, because that inhibits the ability of the child to have. The child has to make a choice between friends and activities on the one hand and the faraway parent on the other hand. And the child, as it gets older, has a very crucial need for friends, activities, and peer group is, of course, very important. And so the child increasingly makes the decision to either not see the other parent or resent when it does see the other parent. And so you never want to put the child in that position. And so we really have to think through, as judges need to think through how crucial it is to establish enormous barriers for the parents moving far away from each other.
So what are those three criteria again? Just one sentence on each.
Sure, yes, absolutely. The first criteria is that the mom and the dad have about an equal amount of time with the child. The second criteria is that there be no bad mouthing. And the third criteria is that the mom and dad live close enough to each other so that the child does not have to make a decision between activities and friends on the one hand and the other parent on the other.
You're really asking a lot of parents who are actually in a very stressful situation. Do you see courts today facilitating your suggestions, or how do you view the courts and what they're doing today?
What I'm basically saying to the courts is we now have the data to know how the children do the best. Now you and the parents have a decision. You can either forget about the children, or you can work in their best interest. But the outcome of forgetting about the children is that there is going to be an increase in crime. There's going to be and there's going to be problems in 26 areas of your child's growth. The child is more likely to feel like a victim. They're more likely to have temper tantrums. They're more likely to have ADD. They're more likely to have ADHD. They're more likely to have problems with nightmares in the evening. They're more likely to do worse in every single SAT score. They're more likely to do worse in social skills. They're more likely, therefore, to be depressed. They're more likely to be on drugs. They're more likely to have sex outside of marriage child outside of marriage before, while they're teenagers. They're more, you name the nightmare, and I'm not aware of a single major nightmare that has any environmental as opposed to just genetic input that is not increased by the absence of one of the parents from the child's life. And so therefore, there's an enormous necessity to say, yes, we know that you have a better job in such and such a place and you have a better job in another place, but the two of you have to get together and figure out one place that you're going to live if you want your children to have the